The Young and the Restless Spoilers shock when love and ambition collide on The Young and the Restless. In the glittering world of Genoa City's elite, few moments carry as much drama as a marriage proposal. For Billy Abbott, however, the most romantic of intentions quickly unraveled into heartache, and set off a chain of ambitions, resentments, and power plays that could reshape his relationships and his business empire. The proposal that went awry. Billy meticulously planned what he believed would be the sweetest, most unforgettable proposal. Under a canopy of twinkling lights at the Chancellor Estate's Rose Garden, he had arranged musicians, pedals, and a heartfelt speech that spoke of their shared dreams. As he knelt before Sally's spectra, ring box in hand, he envisioned tears of joy and a resounding yes. Instead, he was met with stunned silence. Sally's refusal struck him like a thunderbolt. In a quiet but firm voice, she told him that she could not say yes, because this simply was not the right time. For Billy, the pain of rejection was magnified by confusion. Why reject him now, after all they'd shared? Did her lingering feelings for Adam Newman still hold sway over her heart? The thought that Sally might still hope for Adam's return felt like salt in the wound. Why be so cruel, he wondered, the night air heavy with heartbreak. Sally's stand for self-respect beneath the public embarrassment. Sally's refusal was a courageous act of self-preservation. Though touched by Billy's sincerity, she recognized that marrying a man who couldn't master his emotions was a risk to her own stability, and to the career and independence she so fiercely treasured. Turning down Billy may have broken his heart, but it also affirmed Sally's belief that her worth didn't depend on a ring. In her mind, Sally was lucky. Lucky that she could walk away before committing to a man who, in a moment of emotional upheaval, had discarded the symbol of love so violently that he threw the ring across the rose beds. Marrying someone who could react with such anger at rejection was a future she refused to gamble on. Billy's fury and broken dreams. Billy's despair quickly gave way to fury. In a flash of anger, he hurled the engagement ring into the garden's fountain, its delicate sparkle sinking beneath the water's surface. Earlier that evening, he'd been so certain of a yes that he'd planned their entire future, a lavish wedding, children, and the unity of two ambitious families. Now, in an instant, it all seemed to have been for nothing. Yet beneath the rage lay a man determined to rebuild. Billy's vision of a complete family still beckoned him, but the rejection forced him to rethink his strategy. Could he forge a new path with Sally, perhaps not as fiancée, but as partner in business? The thought took root in his mind, and by the next morning he had co-opted his anguish into a bold proposal. Sally would become his standby business associate at Newman Abbott Industries. A conditional offer, and another refusal. Even in his wounded state, Billy acknowledged Sally's talents and integrity. He extended an earnest invitation. Should Phyllis Summers ever step away from the company, Sally would be his backup COO. It was an olive branch offered from bruised pride, a chance for Sally to share in his professional successes without the romantic strings attached. Sally's second refusal, however, was no less decisive than the first. She thanked him graciously but reiterated her commitment to her true passion, fashion design. Sally didn't want to be a safety net for a man who still needed to sort out his personal life. She wanted to blaze her own trail. To remain by Billy's side in any capacity felt like a regression from the independence she had fought so hard to establish. Phyllis stays, and new fault lines emerge. By midweek, word spread that Phyllis Summers had no intention of leaving the company. Relieved on one hand, Billy knew that Phyllis's continued presence would ensure stability. She was loyal, experienced, and ruthless when required. On the other hand, her very tenacity raised fresh concerns. Could Billy maintain equal footing with a partner known for second-guessing his every move? The specter of power struggles loomed large. Complicating matters further was Aristotle Dumas, an influential investor with designs on Newman Abbott's next expansion. Aristotle's soft-spoken charm masked steel-clad ambition, and Billy found himself vacillating between trust and suspicion. He lauded Aristotle's business acumen in board meetings, yet privately wondered if the man had quietly begun to stake a claim in the company's future. The control question: can Billy rein in Aristotle? Billy prided himself on having the Midas touch when it came to deals. But controlling Aristotle would be a different challenge. Rumors circulated that Aristotle intended to leverage a minority shareholding into a seat on the board of directors, tipping the balance of power in his favor. To preempt this, Billy considered contractual safeguards, buyback clauses, veto rights, even non-compete agreements. Yet each provision risked offending Aristotle and driving him away. Would Billy dare to bluff? Or should he openly confront Aristotle, revealing his hand to the entire board? If the latter approach backfired, Billy could find himself on the defensive, forced to appease investors while juggling Phyllis's skepticism and Sally's ever-independent aspirations. What lies ahead for Billy Abbott? Billy's journey from rejected fiancé to corporate strategist has rewritten the rules of his engagement with love and business. He's discovered that heartbreak can trigger reinvention, but also that ambition comes with new vulnerabilities. With Sally pursuing her creative dreams, Phyllis solidly at his side, and Aristotle's ambitions casting a long shadow, Billy must navigate a tightrope of alliances and power plays. As the young and the restless moves forward, viewers will watch to see if Billy can transform his fury into focus, harness Aristotle's influence without losing control, and ultimately build the family and empire he once envisioned on that ill-fated night. One thing is certain, in Genoa City, no setback is ever truly final, and every refusal can spark a far more dramatic comeback. 1. Good news on the medical front. Amy and Damien Kane's treatment breakthrough. After weeks of tension, both Amy and Damien Kane are finally on the brink of hearing positive updates about Amy's treatment. Amy's battle has been a source of anxiety for friends and family. Every test result brought a roller coaster of emotions. Damien, ever her devoted partner, has paced hospital corridors, clutched her hand through sleepless nights, and shaved his head in solidarity. Now, with word that Amy's latest scans show significant improvement, and that her treatment regimen will likely continue to be effective, the couple can breathe a collective sigh of relief. Emotional aftermath. Amy, known for her fierce independence, is quietly overwhelmed. She allows herself a single tear of gratitude in Damien's arms before steel returns to her gaze. Damien, galvanized by the good news, vows to document their journey, part cautionary tale, part love story, to help others in similar fights. 2. Claire Newman's life-altering decision. Weighing the pros and cons. Meanwhile, Claire Newman stands at a pivotal crossroad. Fresh off her own emotional trials, finding her footing after heartbreak, she recognizes that her heart has found a home with Kyle Abbott. Yet, the weight of family expectations, particularly from her grandparents Victor and Nikki Newman, bears heavily. Options on the table, Claire considers returning to the Newman ranch to focus on her business interests, living independently to forge her own path. Alternatively, she could move in with Kyle, weaving her life into his family's tapestry at Abbott Newman. Choosing independence and love. Ultimately, Claire decides to move in with Kyle. In a heartfelt conversation, she tells Nikki, "I've learned that independence doesn't mean standing alone. With Kyle, I'm choosing a partner who respects my dreams and fears." Nikki, initially apprehensive, fearing Claire might be swept up by youthful romance, listens as Claire outlines her plan. They will share household duties, support each other's careers, and keep open lines of communication. Moved, Nikki embraces her granddaughter. "I'm so proud of you for owning your choice." 3. Nikki's quiet doubt. A grandmother's regret? Yet even as Nikki outwardly celebrates Claire's resolve, doubt flickers behind her eyes. She recalls her impassioned speech urging Claire to stand up for herself when Victor tried to sabotage the budding relationship. Now, witnessing Claire's happiness, Nikki wonders if her advice inadvertently set Claire on a collision course with Victor's wrath. What if Victor's meddling only grows more vicious? Nikki muses to Victor late at night. "Perhaps I should have tempered my counsel." Love can survive interference, but too much pushback can shatter a heart. Victor, ever the strategist, reassures her that Claire and Kyle's bond will strengthen in adversity. But Nikki remains uneasy, foreseeing storm clouds that might yet darken their bright horizon. 4. Audra Charles and the rescue plan. Audra's key role in another corner of town. Audra Charles continues to play a central part in Claire's efforts to extricate herself from Victor's manipulative orbit. Audra, once Victor's protégée, now channels her insider insights to protect Claire. Gathering intel, she leverages her old contacts in Newman Enterprises to uncover evidence of Victor's under-the-table tactics, secret contracts, hidden debts, and coercive clauses aimed at binding Claire to family loyalty. Strategic moves. Audra advises Claire to incorporate safeguards in her lease agreement and business partnerships, ensuring Victor cannot unilaterally pull strings. 5. Lily Winters' growing suspicion. Questions raised. However, Lily Winters has begun to smell something amiss. She notices Audra slipping into clandestine meetings with Claire, overhears hushed phone calls, and spots cryptic emails on Audra's laptop. Memories of Audra's past, her previous association with Holden Novak and rumors of a brief engagement to Victor, fuel Lily's wariness. Confrontation looms. Determined to protect her friends, Lily corners Audra in the Chancellor Estate's plush sitting room. "I need to know exactly where your loyalties lie," Lily demands, her voice cool but firm. "Are you working for Claire's freedom, or are you secretly carrying out Victor's bidding?" Audra, caught off guard, regains her poise and insists, "My only allegiance is to Claire. Check any record you want, my paycheck hasn't come from Newman in months." Yet Lily's instincts tell her there's more to uncover, setting the stage for a tense interrogation scene that could expose long-buried secrets. 6. Chelsea Lawson's uneasy reunion. A new phase for Adam and Chelsea across Genoa City. Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman are savoring a hard-won reunion. After months of estrangement, Chelsea's trust is tentative but genuine. Yet beneath her tentative smiles lies a reporter's instinct for hidden motives. Chelsea's doubts. She approaches Adam at Society, the restaurant they now co-own, spooning soup for him as they discuss holiday plans. But Chelsea's eyes remain vigilant. "Adam, I need to ask. Is there something you're not telling me?" she says. "Every time things seem too good, I expect the other shoe to drop." Adam on the defensive. Adam, initially taken aback, promises transparency. "Chelsea, I've laid my cards on the table. I want a fresh start with you." But as he reaches for her hand, Chelsea hesitates, picturing past betrayals, Shelby's scheming, Victor's manipulations, and business partnerships that ended in lawsuits. 7. An impending storm. Threads converge as the week unfolds. These storylines begin to interlace. Medical hope. Amy and Damien's restored optimism sparks relief that might ripple through Newman Abbott celebrations. Should Claire's move-in double as a housewarming gathering? Family frictions. Nikki's private doubts over Claire's safety may place her at odds with Victor, reviving old grievances that threaten to fracture the Newman clan. Corporate intrigue. Audra's intel, Lily's suspicions, and Victor's legacy of scheming collide in boardroom and backroom politics. Will Claire's safeguards hold under pressure? Romantic reconnections. Chelsea's wariness and Adam's reassurances set the stage for a defining moment. If Chelsea confronts Adam's potential hidden agendas, their renewed bond could either solidify or collapse. What to watch for Claire and Kyle's first test? Will Victor unleash fresh obstacles now that Claire has taken a stand? Lily versus Audra. Will Audra's past with Holden Novak or her old ties to Victor surface under Lily's scrutiny? Chelsea's investigation. If Chelsea digs into Adam's business dealings, what revelations await that could upend their relationship? Conclusion. A city on edge in Genoa City. No decision exists in isolation. Amy and Damien's hopeful prognosis may be a momentary balm. But as Claire ventures into shared living with Kyle, guided by Audra's counsel yet shadowed by Nikki's regrets and Lily's queries, she steps into a labyrinth of love, loyalty, and latent threats. Meanwhile, Chelsea and Adam's delicate reunion faces its own crucible. Can trust truly be rebuilt when secret motives linger? As the chess pieces shift, viewers will be glued to their screens, wondering which alliances will hold and which will collapse. After all, on The Young and the Restless, every yes can spark a no, and every promise can sow the seeds of doubt. Stay tuned, the next act in Genoa City's grand drama is about to begin.